Hi, this is Stephen Bourne with the Rye Civic League with your October Top 10, but stick around. Alex Herlihy, he's going to tell you all about this area, Goss Farm, the marsh, the Isles of Shoals, etc. This week, Tuesday night, a lot happened. We're going to be at the Rye Library at 7 o'clock to talk about what you're going to hear about the top 10, the key issues. Also, you can meet your state reps on October 4th, October 5th is Portrait of a Learner at the high school. October 12th is going to be what are the issues you want to get resolved in New Hampshire. There are community listening sessions held around the state, and the one for our county is going to be the October 12th at 6:30, the Rye Public Library. All right, so here's our top 10, and then stick around for Alex.
Hi, I'm Stella. I'm a junior at Portsmouth High School.
Hi, I'm Miles, also a junior at Portsmouth High School.
And this is the top 10. Rye Elementary School is recognized as one of 3 New Hampshire schools to receive the prestigious recognition of the 2023 National Blue Ribbon School by the U.S. Department of Education. Rye Water District had a water special meeting on September 28th. Rye Water updates PFOA information and water treatment plan. Rye Water and Select Board discussed an approved $11 million loan where $2 million can be forgiven. That could be used later. Housing Survey Public Forum has 20 residents, including all 3 Select Board members. Presentation is not available. The Master Plan Committee reviewed the draft build-out analysis. Volunteers are needed to clean out the swap shop of unwanted items at the transfer station and put in the mixed bulky bin. Current volunteers cannot handle the load. If interested, contact the chair of Recycling Committee.
Rye Community Picnic was approved. Celebrate our community and beautiful town on Sunday, October 29th at Parsons Field. There will be one very long community table and chairs for everyone, and you will bring your own picnic basket. Invite your neighbors. Registration will be available on Eventbrite through the Rye NH 400 website. Setup starts at 11:30 a.m. Picnic, noon to 2 p.m. If you're a baker, please enter the apple pie baking contest. September was proclaimed Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Decade-long drop in Rye students appears to have leveled off with slight increase in the past few years. The annual cost of tuition in Rye schools was set at $27,572. All September Parsons Creek watershed fecal contamination results have far exceeded the safety limit. Rye Water Superintendent communicates about dark waste left by hydrants as Rye Water District would prefer to avoid another boil water alert. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Alex Herlihy, town historian standing at Goss Farm. Before we talk about that, I just wanted to mention 3 things. At the last filming at the Brackett burial site, there was a Facebook response to what I said, and the person had some very interesting comments, but he said something about the effect that I couldn't bring myself to say massacre. But I was referencing that, but the point I was trying to make is that too often in history it's written that the Indians were massacring the whites, when in fact it worked both ways. There were a lot of massacres of Indians by whites. And when you read Parsons' history, that was written back at a time, early 1900s, when Teddy Roosevelt said the only good Indian was a dead Indian. So there was a lot of discrimination and bad feeling when that book was written. So it's a complicated thing, but I just wanted to address that, and I appreciate him writing on Facebook. But in the future, if anything I say, and I know some of it's controversial, if you could communicate directly with me, Alex Herlihy at Comcast.net, then we could have a dialogue, so I'd appreciate that. The second thing is, this filming marks the end of 2 years. So this is the 24th filming we have done in different sites for both the top 10 and a history note. So next month will mark the beginning of the 3rd year. So we've really accumulated some very interesting material. And the last thing is, I have a new website called RyeHistoryRocks.com. So a lot of the history that I have been talking about over these past 2 years is contained in these topic narratives, which you can read on the website. And so a lot of that text is on there, and the rest of it will be added soon. All right, so I got those 3 things down. Now, this is a very historic place. Back in the 1600s, William Berry used to farm here. 1665, there's a stone out in front facing Harbor Road, and it's called Dry Point. So the Berries were here in the 1600s, then the Gosses came in the 1700s. And Nathan Goss was here in the late 1700s. There used to be a big old farmhouse here, which burned down mysteriously in about 2010. And the connecting buildings were taken down after the fire, but the barn was saved. And then there was a big struggle because there were 5 siblings, Goss siblings, and they had to make up their mind. Did they want to sell this land to developers to make the maximum profit, or did they want to sell it to the town for agricultural land? And there was a 3-2 vote, and the Goss siblings that wanted to go to the town won out. So that was a wonderful thing, and we appreciate those 3 Goss siblings for that. So then what happened is that this land then went under the Conservation Commission's management after the town purchased it with Department of Agriculture funds and town open space funds. And then the barn, the town voted money about 2014 for the barn to be restored. And so what you have here today is wonderful different kinds of farming. There's a community farm, there are professional farmers that work here. The barn is very well utilized. If we were able to look inside, oftentimes it's open for tours and you can see it. There's a restored wagon in there that Bud Jordan, we found it here and he completely restored it. There's an old historic sign when the Goss family used to have this as an auto camp. And where the pollinator garden is between the barn and Ocean Boulevard, it's a beautiful pollinator garden there. There used to be an open field over there. And people would bring their little trailers. This is back between the wars, 20s and 30s. And then finally, the Goss family said, heck, we're gonna stay in our little cottage that used to be out back here. And they gave the house over for a rooming house. So this is one of the boarding houses of Rye, well into the 1900s, where people could come and stay. So the Goss family had a almost 200-year history here. 1798, yeah, over 200 years in which they farmed and then had it as an auto camp. And now it's in its latest phase where it's permanent town land. This land can never be sold, it's protected forever. And it's almost 10 acres. Another cool thing about it is we had this on an earlier history note that Stephen talked about, where the restored salt marsh that's adjacent to Goss Farm here, you can see it right over the crest of the hill, that was filled in with harbor dredge back in the early 60s when we didn't know any better. Then it was restored early in this century, and there's a big sign over there which you can access from the boulevard. But that little series of trails over there connects to Goss Farm, and it's a lovely walk, one of many that we have in this town. And I think I've talked entirely enough. It's good to be doing these history notes, and we'll see you in November. The next one, the last thing I want to mention is one of the reasons we're standing here, and you'll see it in the film, is this is one of the sites of the new 7 historic signs that we have out. And this one talks about Goss Farm as well as the Isles of Shoals. And you'll see that when you come into the parking lot on the right. Thank you.